Hello. I got a new mustache. Um so a little life update, alright? I'm gonna shut my bedroom door for this. And no, I'm not in my undies. I'm in my shorts. They're shorts. They got pockets, dog. They got pockets. Alright, a little life update, alright? So this girl I was talking to, we ended up cutting things off because she has some major issues with herself, and I was really only adding to problems in her life for the most part. Um, so we cut things off. In a really bad way too. Um, um, so that didn't pan out as much as I'd have liked. Whatever, shit happens. Maybe in the future when she's better towards herself and has her life on the right track, we'll reconnect. And once I do some personal growth on my end, we can reconnect and actually be mature people together. Um, doubt it, but life is such. I've got personal shit I've got to work through and work on myself, and just sort of stuff that's been really a problem all my life that I've really tried to bury. And it hasn't gone so well. And she actually managed to cause it to bubble up and resurface. And I thought I had buried it all, and it turns out I was just, I had some walls built up, and she managed to tear them all down. And like, she was really not working through stuff in her own personal life, and willing to work on stuff in her personal life, and you know, um, take accountability for her actions and hold herself accountable, and relied heavily on everyone to do everything for her, with the exception of like emotional relief. Um, she was and is very self-reliant on herself for that, and that's okay. That's something you need to learn, is self-soothing and self-reliance in that aspect, because not everyone will be here for you emotionally. Whatever, it's all said, done, and over with. Um, I let her know I still support her, and I'm keeping my distance. Keeping an eye on her, checking in on her every now and again, asking people how she is. Whatever, being a good little boy toy, I guess. Um, my truck, for those of you that don't know, um, I drive a 2004 F-150 with the 5.4 Triton V8. All right. Now, this truck is notorious for having timing related issues as well as oil related issues, such as the oil pumps failing and the cam rollers going bad, causing journeying in the camshafts and some other stuff. Took it to a shop a few weeks ago. All right, it sat in the shop for 2 weeks while they sort of looked over stuff, and I got a call from the shop, and they said, "Hey, we're thinking about replacing the front seal." And I said, "No, don't do that. That was just replaced. That's good. Do another inspection." They did another inspection. They found a hole in the top of my timing cover. Now, for those of you that don't know, the timing cover sits on the front of the engine. All right. So imagine that this Tylenol bottle, all right, is the engine. Okay. The timing cover sits on the front of it, sort of like that. All right. There is some stuff in between the engine and the timing cover. Those are timing components. They are either phasers and chains, or they are belts and phasers. They're going to be phasers either way. The chains wrap around this phaser, all right? Or in the case of a belt, a pulley, right? And in the case of V8s, there's two of them. All right, so they sort of like crisscross a little bit at the end and meet up, and then yeah. Um, when they took that timing cover off of my engine, the cam phasers were bad. Now there's other things in my engine called guides. They guide the chains, all right, and keep them going where they're going. Now, those are made out of plastic in my engine case, all right? When they took that timing cover off, that plastic crumbled. And that is a notorious thing for this engine, especially this model year. Ford didn't fix it till like 2011. All right, it's bad. And then they stopped producing vehicles with that engine because that engine was just notoriously bad. All right, now there's what's called a chain tensioner too. It pushes on the chain and makes sure it's nice and tight, right? Like you would a bike chain, right? You pull your bike tire back to make sure it's nice and tight. That's pretty much what the tensioner does. That fell out. That is not supposed to fall out. All right. Now, they replaced all that. That cost me $5,600. And that's just the beginning. All right. No oil leak anymore. All good to go. However, then they noticed that the RPMs would surge when the truck was running, indicating a vacuum leak after they did a smoke test. Basically, they pump smoke into the vacuum system of your vehicle, and they see where it's leaking from. They took off my valve covers, and those valve covers, all right, for those of you that don't know, they sit on top of the engine. They cover the camshafts, all right, and some other bits and pieces. Well, and this connects into the whole timing system, okay? So these cam phasers connect to the cam shaft so that the chains can wrap around the crankshaft, and then it all turns and the camshafts rotate, and yeah, you get the gist of it. Well, there was a vacuum leak down near there because my vacuum hose wasn't connected for some reason. Don't know why. Don't know why that was disconnected, but apparently it had looked like it was disconnected for a while just due to the dirt, grime, and whatnot built up on it. But they went ahead and fixed that. Now, when you typically replace when you do a timing job like that, you also replace what are called VVT solenoids. And what these solenoids do is they sit in different parts of the engine, and oil passes through tiny holes in them, and they basically make sure that you're getting like proper oil pressure, that your oil isn't like dirty and whatnot, and it ties into the whole timing system, because this also determines on whether helps your engine computer determine whether it needs to kick the timing forward or kick the timing backwards. Now, I get a error code that pops up once I get my truck back, and it dies on me. I get my check engine light, I bust out my code reader, and I read the code, and it says timing over retarded bank 2. So my engine has a bank 1 and a bank 2. Depending on your engine, you might only have bank 1 if it's like a V6, okay? Now, that happened twice. So now the shop has to take my truck in twice to figure out this problem, and we're replacing parts that we probably don't need to replace. My theory is that the truck screwed up the timing on the shop screwed up the timing on my truck when they did the timing job, because it's just hard to properly time engines. Nobody's perfect at it, all right? You're gonna get people that mess up on it, and it happens and whatnot. I had it running for like 2 days before I had to take it to the shop again. Took it to the shop, they replaced a part, I got it back, was running like ass within the fucking hour I got it back, took it back to the shop, They replace like 2 parts. I get it back. It literally, I go out to my fucking truck in the parking lot after they replace my VVT solenoids, and I'm in the parking lot of the shop. I go to start my truck, and the engine light comes on again. Bust out my code reader. Look at the codes. Fucking engine or timing over retarded bank 2 once again. So I go inside and I'm like, hey, I got these codes again. I gotta go to work though. I'm just gonna see if I can drive it home. And if it doesn't act up when I'm driving home, I'll drive it to work, whatever, no issue. I'll bring it back on Monday. Well, today's Sunday. I don't have my fucking truck. It died when I went to throw it in reverse when I got home. Alright? So, now, I have to have it towed back again. The tow truck driver called me from his personal number and said, yo, this cowboy? I said, yeah. He goes, just double checking, dispatch told me I'm towing your truck again for the 2nd day in a row. And I go, you would be correct. Yep. And he goes, all right, I'm on my way over there. And I go, cool. He gets over here. We start cracking jokes and whatnot, and he ends up taking my truck. I call the shop, and I'm like, truck's on its way back. And they're like, oh, fuck. Now, for the most part, they've been really helpful with these last, like, 2 instances. They haven't charged me for labor, only parts. They haven't charged me diagnostic fees, nothing. That's been super helpful, but it's legitimately draining bank accounts at this point. We have now dumped like $5,900 into this thing. And they still can't seem to figure out the issue. Now, it is now Monday at 12:09 a.m. Today the shop opens. They will re-inspect my truck and get back to me. Hopefully, it's good news. Because this is a truck I plan on using for a long time. It's at 215k miles, but I intend to use it for a long time. And not only that, but the future use I have for it once I get a new pickup, which honestly I could have literally just put money down on a new pickup, but I couldn't afford the monthly payment and insurance on a brand new fucking pickup, especially not the one I want. Personally, I want the brand new 5.7 2026 Ram 1500. It comes with a Hemi. Dodge reintroduced the Hemi to the Ram series. I want that, dude. They're awesome. I had a 2014 Charger with the 5.7. Love them. Alright? But yeah, this is a truck I eventually plan on turning into a trophy truck. If all goes well and I can dig myself out of the financial hole I'm in, which isn't very deep, thank God. But, like, now these issues, they are going to cause me more problems financially, and it's not fun. So yeah, talked to a girl. We were a little more than friends, a little less than dating in her eyes. Situationship is what they're calling it now. Kids, don't get yourself into one. Especially not with an alt bipolar girl. Yeah, alt bipolar girl. Don't. If she tells you she's bipolar and has a septum piercing, dude, run. Your mental health will literally end up in the fucking dumpster, and even further than the dumpster, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's nights I've sat here with my 9. Alright, it's not worth it. Trust me, they will drive you fucking nuts. Alright, it ain't worth it. And granted, I wasn't a saint in that case myself, but don't do it. Not unless they are actively seeking help and solving their personal issues, whatever. Yeah, so little life update. Also figured out that my grandma took out bonds in my name when I was young, and they got 5 more years till they mature. Thanks, Grandma, for the currently $700 that I can't touch for another 5 years. It's cool though. I love it. It's, planning for the future. Didn't really think I'd make it till 30 anyway. Oh yeah, I just had my 25th birthday. I've had 25 years on this god awful planet, and I hate every year of it. It does not get better as time goes on. It does not. I just wish to be an old dude with a fuck off money at this point. You know, that's the real dream here, being an old guy with fuck off money. Or 6 feet under. Doesn't really matter. You know, as long as I don't have to pay taxes. Yeah. Little life update. Haven't had time to play video games. Um, Life is really not even going to slow down in the slightest in these next couple of months for me. So yeah. Um, Thought I'd let you all know where I'm at, what I've been doing, stuff like that. Anyway, uh, be good to yourselves, be good to others. Um, that's about it. Yeah. See you.